Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Arjun Chaudhary. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Wednesday, 25th of March. Islamic State releases 2 Bangladeshi captives held in Libya. US troops slowdown won't help counter Taliban in Afghanistan, says analysts. And cricket fever grips India ahead of World Cup semi-final against Australia. And now for all the details. The slowing down of US troops withdrawal will have little effect in maintaining peace and stability in Afghanistan, analysts have said, despite Washington assuring Kabul of continued support in fighting the Taliban. Here is a report.
US President Barack Obama on Tuesday agreed to delay a planned withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan and maintain a force of 9,800 in the war-torn nation till the end of this year. This came on the request of visiting Afghan President Ashraf Ghani, who is in Washington with an aim to rework future ties between the two nations regarding security and funding. Analysts back home, however, hold a different view. Many believe the slowed exit of NATO forces won't be of much help in achieving peace. The security situation continues to remain tense despite the Taliban being forced out of power. Afghans said the country's own forces were incapable of fighting the insurgents.
Our forces is not capable, and during this 13 years, U.S. and their allies in Afghanistan did not give necessary assistance to Afghan forces. And after 13 years, our forces are armed by ordinary thing, by Kalashnikov or M16 guns, and this is the same thing the Taliban have.
Many also felt the only solution to Afghanistan's security crisis is negotiations between the Afghan government and the Taliban forces.
We don't want to pay more life just keeping war. We are tired. The Afghan nations are really fatigued. We need to go and talk with the frame of Afghan constitution.
The US combat role in Afghanistan officially ended late last year as part of President Obama's plans of winding up the war that his country had launched in the aftermath of the 9/11 attacks. Afghan President Ghani, who is in the US with Chief Executive Abdullah, has been on a spree of meetings with the American leadership. President Ghani had recently warned of the growing footprint of the Islamic State fighters, adding to the Taliban threat in the country. It comes as the Afghan forces struggle to gain strength to fend off the growing militant concerns in the country and protect the regions being captured by the Taliban in the light of a power vacuum as US troops continue to vacate grounds.
News just coming in. A suicide bomb blast hit the Afghan capital Kabul on Wednesday. Initial reports claim at least 7 people could have been killed in the attack. More details are awaited. And moving on, the Supreme Court of India has issued notices to 2 defense lawyers for making derogatory remarks against women in a documentary on the 2012 Delhi gang rape case. The duo has been asked to explain the comments after women activists called for revoking the legal licenses.
As the ban on the broadcast of the documentary on the gang rape and murder of a woman on a Delhi bus in 2012 continues in India, the Supreme Court has sought a response from the 2 lawyers for their remarks in the film India's Daughter. The notices were issued to lawyers M.L. Sharma and A.P. Singh in response to a petition filed by a women lawyers body. Both lawyers had represented the convicted men in the gang rape case. The petition sought a public apology from the 2 men and also urged the Supreme Court to revoke the duo's legal licenses. In the documentary, Mr. Sharma had said there is no place for women in the Indian culture. Mr. Singh had said a woman should not go out at night with her boyfriend.
I personally feel that these 2 lawyers, not only should their entry be banned, but also their licenses should be cancelled. There is an advocate ethics which clearly says the lawyers are bound by the ethics of the advocate's conduct, which says that they must uphold the law at all the time.
Their plea has been supported by counsels across the country, who feel strict action against the 2 lawyers would go a long way in reinstating the confidence of women in the country.
The endeavor of the court and the organizations has all along been to instill some confidence in the minds of women that they are safe in any part of this country at any point of time.
While the Supreme Court has called on the two lawyers, how it would review their response is something that would be closely watched by activists across the country. They feel a stringent action against the two men is the only way to protect the dignity of women and uphold the people's faith in the representatives of the legal system in the country. Avneet Arora for South Asia Newsline in New Delhi.
Former Indian Prime Minister Manmohan Singh on Wednesday approached the Supreme Court challenging a summon against him in the Colgate scam. Singh in his plea has sought exception from personal appearance in the case next month. Industrialist Kumar Mangalam Birla has also challenged his summons. The duo, along with some top bureaucrats, were held accused by a special court in the multi-billion-dollar scam earlier this month. Singh is facing charges including criminal conspiracy and corruption in the case related to the allocation of coal blocks to private companies by the previous regime under Singh, when he also held a coal portfolio. The state auditor had estimated losses of $170 billion to the exchequer, as the government decided to allocate coal blocks instead of a competitive bidding. Pakistan government is exploring options to extradite Muttahida Aqwam Movement chief Altaf Hussain from the UK. Interior Minister Chaudhry Nisar Ali Khan has said. He, however, rejected reports of the government handing over documents against Hussain to Britain.
The government wants Altaf Hussain to face trial in the country for threatening paramilitary personnel in Karachi, Interior Minister Nisar Ali Khan has said. He added that the Pakistan government is in touch with the British officials and they have been informed about the case against Hussain. Khan, however, cleared that the government has not approached the Interpol to get the fugitive leader extradited. The MQM is the third largest party in Pakistan Parliament and has its strongholds in southern Sindh province. Party Supremo Hussain fled Pakistan in the 1990s and now lives in London. He, however, continues to control the day-to-day affairs of the party from his London office. Hussain is facing a number of high-profile cases in Pakistan, including murders and violence. The MQM leader was also arrested by Scotland Yard last year for money laundering.
Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif is set to approve the second phase of the ongoing targeted operation in southern Karachi. The Prime Minister, who is scheduled to preside over a meeting in the southern city on the law and order situation, will discuss with security agencies ways to commence the next phase. According to police reports, several members of the Muttahida Aqwam movement were arrested in the first round, while influential leaders involved in target killings, extortion and other crimes will be nabbed in the second. Karachi, a bustling city of 22 million people, typically sees about a dozen murders every day. Most of the killings have been a part of a turf war for the control of Pakistan's only financial showpiece. The first phase of the Karachi targeted operation was launched in 2013 with an aim to clear the city of gangs and criminals. It depicted the untold stories of atrocities committed by the Pakistan Army during Bangladesh's liberation war. Take a look at how this photo exhibition revived memories and sacrifices of Bangladesh's war heroes.
It was a moment to remember the martyrs of the freedom struggle. The photo exhibition in India's northeastern Agartala brought scores of visitors to take a glimpse of the historic war. A three-day event titled 1971 Genocide and Torture was meant to highlight the atrocities unleashed by the Pakistani army and pay tribute to those who sacrificed their lives for the independence of Bangladesh. The event also comes as Bangladesh is gearing up to celebrate the anniversary of declaration of Bangladesh's independence on Thursday.
In this exhibition, this is the first time when we got to know that what exactly happened, because this kind of shots were very difficult to find out, and when I was visiting this exhibition, I took my level best to capture every moment as possible, every photo as possible. So it's a great thing that has been done with collaboration with Bangladesh.
The exhibition also honored the 3 million martyrs of the 1971 war and the people of neighboring Tripura who died alongside the Bangladeshis. Tripura played host to thousands of Bangladeshi refugees who had fled to escape atrocities by Pakistan and its local allied forces. Some 3 million people were killed and 200,000 women were raped when Bangladesh, then known as East Pakistan, sought independence from West Pakistan during the 9-month-long civil war.
Islamic State militants have freed 2 Bangladesh nationals held hostage in Libya. They were kidnapped along with nearly a dozen foreign workers earlier this month. Bangladesh Foreign Ministry on Wednesday confirmed the news that the militant group had let go of 2 of its nationals. The ministry said they were released late on Tuesday and will be flown into Bangladesh at the earliest after completing medical checkups. The duo was working for an Australian oil company in Libyan capital Tripoli when they were abducted by the Islamic State militants. Pakistani cricket fans will now have a national squad without Misbah-ul-Haq. The team's captain announced his retirement from one-day internationals after his team crashed out in the quarter-final of the ongoing ICC World Cup.
Misbah-ul-Haq announced his retirement from the shorter version of cricket with immediate effect on Tuesday. He also said the responsibility of taking the team forward was now on the youngsters.
मेरा कैरियर obviously वनडे का ख़त्म हो गया और अब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी सारी इन यंगस्टर्स पे है कि ये किस तरह पाकिस्तान टीम को आगे लेके जाते हैं और अपने आप को किस तरह इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट में चलाते हैं आगे. मेरे ख्याल है अब मुझे थोड़ा सा रिलैक्स करने की ज़रूरत है बजाय ये कि मैं फिर इन्हीं चीज़ों में उलझा रहा हूँ. आई हैव प्लेड माई इनिंग और इन सारी चीज़ों से अब मुझे थोड़ी देर दूर रहना चाहिए.
The 40-year-old also felt that the team's poor batting performance let them down in the World Cup.
ऑब्वियसली ये एक प्रॉब्लम है हमारी बैटिंग लाइनअप का जिसको कि फ्यूचर में देखने की ज़रूरत है. मे बी मोर अपॉर्चुनिटी, ज़्यादा इधर एक्सपोजर मिले इनको इंटरनेशनल इधर उधर क्रिकेट खेलने का, तो उससे शायद ये चीज़ें बेहतर हों. बट ऑब्वियसली ये एक बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम रहा है हमारा ड्यूरिंग द टूर्नामेंट.
Pakistan was eliminated from the ongoing World Cup after losing its quarter-final match against Australia last week. The tournament was the last ODI series for two of Pakistan's greatest cricket performers in the recent times. Star all-rounder Shahid Afridi, who played for Pakistan for nearly 19 years, also hung up his boots alongside Haq.
They have the aspirations of $1 billion plus riding on their shoulders ahead of the crucial semi-final clash as Team India prepares to fight out with Australia. It has high hopes to measure up to. Take a look at how the cricket fever has gripped the nation.
Gearing up for the high-octane World Cup match on Thursday, fans across India are going overboard to wish their team. Fans at the northern Kanpur are performing unique rituals for Dhoni and his men. At many places, photographs of Indian cricketers were worshipped along with the deities. People of every faith gathered and performed the mass prayers.
हिंदुस्तान में हिंदू, मुस्लिम, सिख, ईसाई आज एक ही प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं कि हम सब मिलकर वर्ल्ड कप जीते और कैप्टन महेंद्र सिंह धोनी की अगुवाई में दोबारा एक बार रिकॉर्ड बनाते हुए लगातार हिंदुस्तान वर्ल्ड कप हिंदुस्तान में लेके आए क्रिकेट वर्ल्ड कप को.
The spreading mania has gripped Western Ahmedabad too. Dozens joined together to recite hymns from Hindu scriptures for the success of their team. Cricket fans in northern Muradabad made human formation of the coveted ICC World Cup trophy as they wished the national team ahead of its match with Australia.
इंडिया ऑस्ट्रेलिया को बुरी तरीके से हराएगी, इसके घर में हराएगी और इंडिया और न्यूजीलैंड का जो है सेमीफाइनल आपको देखने को मिलेगा.
Cricket-inspired sweets have proven a hit in a shop in eastern Kolkata. The sweet shop is boasting of delicacies made in the shape of Indian players and cricket apparels, attracting enough buyers.
छोटा छोटा सब मॉडल बनाया, बॉल बनाया, विश्व कप्स बनाया, विकेट बनाया, बैट बनाया, सब बिक्री होता है और छोटा छोटा बच्चा लोग आके देखता है मॉडल को और उससे छोटा छोटा सामान सब कीन के ले जाते हैं.
While fans back home are doing their bit, Indian team in Sydney is putting all efforts to gear up for the big clash. The players are confident they have timed their run to perfection at the World Cup.
We know how to play big games. We've been part of it. Even in Champions Trophy and also 2011. So we bring the best out of everyone during those big matches. So yes, we look forward to this and hopefully it will be a exciting contest.
Defending champion India has remained unbeaten so far in all its 7 World Cup matches on their way to the semi-finals with an impressive bowling attack. Many, however, believe host Australia's familiarity with home conditions is an advantage in their quest for a 5th world title.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude the top stories once again. Islamic State releases 2 Bangladeshi captives held in Libya. US troops slowdown won't help counter Taliban in Afghanistan, say analysts. And cricket fever grips India ahead of World Cup semi-final against Australia. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline. and follow us on Twitter at @SAsia Newsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.